welcome back to the channel, the Nerdy Magpie. We hope you are having a good day this Monday. And we're going to go over...
It's Martin Luther King Day.
Is
so
it?
It's a holiday. No mail. I know. It always seems like some kind of holiday or something.
Yeah. I didn't... I knew it was coming up, and I even saw a sign at the bank, but I don't know. I just forgot it was today.
Oh.
So.
Kind of a lazy day today. Nice and sunny here. It's been super cold.
Yeah, it's still kind of chilly outside, even though it's sunny.
How many days did you say it was supposed to stay cold?
I look at I've got a weather app on my phone, and it gives a day to day, and then it gives a week to week. And so it's supposed to be for the next, I think it's 2 weeks, we're going to have days of intermittent average and below average temperatures. And then starting in March, it's going to be below average temperatures. But the last cold day, I would consider a cold day like 30 degrees or 40 degrees as the high, is going to be at the end of February. And then after that, it's going to be in the 50s and 60s. So
for us, January and February are probably our coldest months. But you don't get cold in that amount, you know, really cold and stay cold. We get lots of bugs and gnats and everything.
Yeah,
and
we can always
March
tell that.
Starts being when the pollen starts coming out. And yeah.
Yeah, we can already tell.
It stays cold off and on till May. One thing about the South is you think it's going to be warm and you're getting all your winter clothes put away and everything like that, and then it hits you and it's ice cold again. So you just never know. So we always have I've always, even when my kids were little, always had a week of clothes laid out for winter.
Yeah, there's one day this week or 2 days this week where it's like 56 one day, and then the very next day the high is going to be like below 30. So
crazy, makes everybody sick. Yeah, not good. Even the animals aren't happy. They tend to get more rambunctious or start yelling. Zooey likes to scream.
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll move on from the weather.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel a little under the weather today. I don't feel sick, but I just feel more
tired
than usual. And I know there's a flu going around, and I don't want to catch it. And because I've heard it's pretty bad. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go on to what I worked on this week. This week I got 3 Bringos, and remember I'm playing the Bringos from the I'm playing Brringo for the magazine monthly challenge group, and I've gotten 3 Bringos, and I kind of rewarded myself a little bit, but that was for 1 Bringo.
She'll get rewarded.
So my first one that was called, this was something with a border, and it is Little Halloween or Pochette. I hope I'm saying that right. Pochette Halloween by Sarah Girmani. And I was able to finish this side of the border. I think it goes off here. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, it looks like it goes off. Mine has... David will get a better picture, but yeah, this is the bottom here, and then I've got to bring this down the next time, and then fill in all this. It's really cute. I'm excited to see it, because the only picture she has is far away pictures, so it's kind of hard to see it, but I don't even remember. I know I seen it on somebody's Flosstube, but I don't even remember who it was, or I just thought it was really cute, so I went and bought it, but it's a PDF pattern I put into Markup RXP. Okay, the next one is, the next one that was called was Color the color for 2026, and that was white. So I picked Blizzard, Animal Cracker by Stacy Nash. I think he's so cute, but I am changing his colors. And I got all of this ear done. So that's what I worked on there. Okay. And he's a lot of fun to work on. Can't wait till I get to his something other than the white, but the white's not been bad. And then the next one was a pattern you were influenced to buy. And I went to the Jingle Ball the first week in December, and I was influenced to buy Frosty Pals by Teresa Kogut. Here, I'll let you put that over to the side. And this has been so much fun to stitch. So there they are. And so that's
Mr. Claus.
Yeah, so that's going to come out again, so might as well keep it out. Let's put all this away or I'll have a mess here. Okay, the other one, I had a roll of dice, and that's how many motifs I had to work on. And so it was autumn, and the two motifs I worked on was A and U for autumn. This is a lot of fun. I think this is a freebie, and I'm not sure who it's by. Tiny Modernist. And that's been a really nice stitch. It's not going to be very long before I'm finished with that. Fully finished. And then it was one. The next one was something you've had to frog a lot, and that one is by far the Praiseworthy Stitches Memorial Park. Let me have a picture before I show it. And like I said, David will put a better picture in, maybe. That one I haven't seen. I seen this one at StitchCon when I went. I think it was 2021. And Pam from Just Keep Stitching had it done and framed, and it was so cute. And I ran across it in a magazine, and there it is so far. Today I worked on, I got this done, hot dogs, and I finished up this, and then so we're to the corner, and then it just goes down from here and comes across. So according to Markup RXP, I'll be done by February 27th. Today I worked on more of the branch of the tree. I think I'm going to work on the tree a little bit every day, because that's my daily stitch. So, and I even had to frog that out today. So that's one I have to frog all the time. Okay, and the next one was a designer that you had never stitched one of their patterns. And it was Frosty Pals. I had never stitched Teresa Kogut's, and I just showed you that one, but I'll show you the picture again, because you already seen. But I finished up Santa's hat. Let me look at that so I could show them better. I finished up Santa's hat, and I'm on his eyebrows, and here's his eyes. Somebody said, somebody is doing Santa with Anne and Ted, and it's Raggedy Andy, and I think it's Cross Stitch on the Hill that's doing that. And she said she just loves their faces. And I was looking at this, and I was wondering what was so different about that makes their face so pronounced on Teresa Kogut's. And I think it's the eyebrows. She makes them extra bushy, and that makes the eyes very distinct. So I think that's the reason on there, that they have such nice faces. She makes it like real prominent, so their eyes look a little bit more realistic. Okay, and the one I had to stitch today was a whip of your choice, but you had to watch a favorite show of yours for 1 hour. And one of my absolute favorite shows is Law & Order SVU. And so I decided to stitch on Sleepy Hollow. I had not worked on that in a minute, so I'm glad I got to that. This roof is going to be a bear. It is huge. I haven't even, this is, it's big. It's going to come all the way down to about here. Because the house itself is only about this big, but that roof is like this big. So, anyways, and David will put a picture of that on there. All right. So that was all my whips that I worked on for Brringo, and I will, so my whips and new starts was Teresa Kogut's Frosty Pals. And then the other thing I did was the Peppermint Purple Cell. Oh. Now, I was going to show you this. I made this folder this week, and it looks like this on the inside. I might have showed it. Did I show it last week?
Nope.
I made this folder here, and I'm loving making these folders. I have quite a few project bags, but I decided I wanted to go a different direction. So, anyways, so in here was the Peppermint Purple Cell, and Katie, Jeremiah's mom, she was the influencer on this one. So I did last week's and this week's, and I hope I can show it to you up close. I showed it to you last week how I was going to do it's called Peppermint Purple Cell Center Stage. So this here is the center stage, and that's where I'm going to have to put something. It's extra small. I didn't realize it's going to be this small. But I always grid my fabric, so this makes sense to me. But anyways, here's the two motifs I made. This was week 1, and this is week 2, and there's going to be 52 of these weeks, filling up every one of these lines here. So that's a lot of fun to work on. I really
know. Take a closer picture of this.
Yes, so you can blow it up.
This really, when she showed me this, you know, from the picture, when I looked at the picture that she showed me, I was thinking, oh, it's just going to be blocks of color. But when I look at it, there's an intricate pattern, and you can see it. See that intricate pattern there? I was not expecting that. And
you're going to have to show it even more, because this here is like 3 lines, and then it's an X. You'll have to show it. But you'll have to get a good
I was so surprised by the way it looked, and I think it's just going to look wonderful. I mean,
and if I can't fit the piece I want to fit in there, which was my temperature piece, I will probably frame the one on the side and put the 2 frames together, so that we have the old house and the new house. So, but anyways, the other thing I was going to talk to you about that I tell you what, my nemesis is binding. It always has been. And my husband can tell you, I have had one problem after another with this binding. And I've watched video on video, and my problem is, explain to them what my problem is.
Well, her mind, Bonnie is a very, very intelligent person. She is homeschooled for all these years. She knows things that I can't even begin to know. But the problem is when she sees somebody performing something on a video, in her mind, it seems to me that it almost comes out as it's backwards than how they're doing it. And so she would lay her binding at a 45 like this. She would lay it at 90 degrees. And then when she would go to sew, she would sew this way up the binding. And when you fold it over, it's wrong. So what we had to do is say, okay, this looks like a clock. This is at noon, and this is at 3. Okay, instead of sewing where the thread comes out of the mouth of the clock, you have to sew this way.
Or it's going down.
Right. So it's going across the top of, or the bottom of it, instead of going up through the middle of the 90. And
I don't know how many times I just tore out, cried, been upset, but
and so she's getting it really well now. I mean, she's doing excellent.
I'm doing better, but where it joins right here, that's still a little hard for me. Yeah, I've watched several videos. It's just, but anyway, so what had happened was I had sewed all of this. I had a nice binding on it and everything. I mean, I could have done better, but it was pretty nice.
It was nice.
And I asked David to put these snaps on because generally they're very hard for me to do because my hands are so weak. I have a hard time pressing the.
It's a snap gun.
Yeah, I have a hard time pressing that snap gun. And so I asked David to do it. Well, he thought I had said to put it here on the binding, but I meant right here. So he put it here and he ripped my fabric, not on purpose, but he did rip my fabric. And then he tried to glue it, and it didn't glue.
Cut it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
So I could get it to fit because it was too thick.
And I kept telling him, if you're going to stick it there, you need to get a hammer and hammer it down, because when you sew, if you use a hammer, not like a real hammer, but like a mallet.
Yeah. I have a brass hammer.
It flattens it enough to where you can sew it. No, he would not listen. So they kept popping off, and no matter how much he pressed, and so he finally glued it. And it was a mess. It looked dirty. It did not look good at all. So I took it all off yesterday and put a new binding on, and then went with this snap. I put it on myself. So that really helped me out. But the other thing is I watched another video of a lady who owns a quilt shop, and I don't know where it is or anything like that, but it was a video on Yahoo. And she said when you're putting on binding to do your walking foot, because your walking foot presses that material down and makes it smooth. And I had never seen anybody else do that. So I had my walking foot out anyways because I was quilting something else. Another one I'm doing. And so I thought, well, I might as well use the walking foot like she said. Oh, that was so much easier. My only thing is today I'm really going to have to look and see, because I'm going to be putting binding on something else, and I'll show you all that next week. But, yeah. But other than that, I think it looks really nice, and that's where my purple cell is residing.
Yes.
And so that was something new I learned this week. I know it's not cross-stitching, but it is something new for me. And another thing I have to say about me seeing things backwards, now that David has said it, it just clicked with me. Our daughter she's been diagnosed when she was little. She was 4, going on 5, when I started her in school. And she always looked like she was going to stab herself with scissors. She could not get her hands correct. And she didn't crawl till she was a year old or sit up. And she didn't walk till she was 15 months. And I just thought it was because her brothers were carrying her around, and, just she was a baby. And so, anyways, the doctor said as long as she was walking by 15 months, she was going to be okay. And so, and then when I started her in school, I had already homeschooled 3 children, and I knew that wasn't right, because and no matter how much I tried to straighten her out of her hand would automatically go like this. So I mentioned it to her doctor, and he sent her to an occupational therapy, and they diagnosed her with 3 things. One was dysgraphia, which is a weakness in the hands and feet. So for 6 months, and it should have been longer, but I really, really worked with her, she had a weakness in her hands and feet, and we had to do lots of Play-Doh and clothespins and Wiki sticks and all kinds of things to strengthen her hands. And I tell parents all the time, let your kids play with Play-Doh. I know it's terrible, and you might not like it, but it helps strengthen their hands and their make sure that they're pressing real hard on their tricycles and doing a lot of things like that to strengthen their feet, and then they won't have these issues. But anyway, so she had that, and then along with dysgraphia, there's two other things that go along with it more than likely, and one is dyscalculia, which is a weakness in math, and that is me. I will say that I don't do well in math at all. And then the other thing is she had dyslexia. Hers wasn't reading things backwards, it was comprehending things. And now that he said it, that's probably my problem, is I see things backwards. And I probably have all three of those. My mom has mentioned, and my grandfather, when he was alive, said my mom always did these things too. So I don't know if it's hereditary. I'm not sure. But I know three of us have it now. And one little granddaughter of mine is having a tendency towards it too. So that's probably my problem. I had a little bit of trouble reading. It took me a little longer to read, but I was determined to do it. I remember that. And then my friend Angie from Threaded Treasures, I mentioned before, we've been best friends since 3rd grade. She's the one that taught me how to ride a bike, and I didn't ride a bike till I was almost 10. So, yeah. So, looking back on it, it's probably my problem. Anyways, you all didn't want to hear that whole tangent. But anyway, so that's what I've learned new this week, is about binding. It's still not exactly perfect, but it's so much better.
Yeah, so she's doing good.
All right. So my plans for this week is to continue and finish Brringo. This is the final week of Brringo. And so I think there's 6 more projects after today. So I will continue and finish Brringo. And then I'm going to continue with Peppermint Purple Cell. And I'll be doing that for the next 50 weeks. 1 a week for 50 weeks. And then I'm going to continue and finish Frosty Tiny Town. Did I show this one?
No.
And this is my blessing stitch that I'm doing for the week of for the month of January. And if you haven't seen my Flosstube before, a blessing stitch is from the Sun City Stitchers.
Mm-hmm.
And they are 2 twin sisters that are in El Paso, Texas. And I heard about it from their Flosstube. And what you do is you start the 1st of January, and you're supposed to stitch on something for the whole month of January, and it's supposed to bless your stitching all year long. So I wanted to do Frosty Tiny Town. So it's still on hoop, yes, but that's because I just finished working on it. But I've changed all the colors. I thought they were a little, I know winter's supposed to be drab, but I like more of the Scandinavian colors. So that's what I've been doing on these. So. And
but you don't have bright pink, orange, or green on there.
Well, that's Finlanders.
Oh, that's okay.
That's Finland.
Never mind.
I'm just kidding. But anyways.
Her dad would always, they would drive by a house and say, but a Finlander lives there.
Either the Finnish people or Mexican people. And I'm not being prejudiced, but it's true. They really, really like those bright colors. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've been watching the History. What's his name? Undercover.
Is it History Underground?
Something like that. And he been showing the different presidents' houses. And ones you never even thought about I mean, there's so many that you don't know anything about because they focus on just certain ones. But anyways, their colors are so bright and beautiful. I just love them.
Yeah.
You would think, because they show them in pictures, they're kind of drab and, everything like that. But, oh my.
Yeah, their houses, they liked color. And that's one thing that is a trend today, is that color is just not. No. Everything's going to muted colors.
Grays and
blacks.
Whites.
Grays, blacks, and whites are like the #1 selling colors. And
I don't like bright purples and pinks and stuff like that on walls, but just the colors they had were just gorgeous. Maybe you could put in
Yeah, if I can find
a
a
link.
picture or
No, you
I
can
can
put
put in the
links if
yeah.
anybody's
He's on
interested.
YouTube.
You're interested in watching, but
He's
very,
very
very
very interesting.
interesting.
Yes,
Yes,
very
he tells a lot of facts that you didn't know about these presidents, and he showed George
about wars
Washington's
and people.
house,
Mm-hmm.
and he was showing Mount Vernon,
Mm-hmm.
and he was showing the outhouse. And you usually think of an outhouse, you know, your stereotypical hillbilly outhouse, you know, just a one-seater with a row of. Oh no, this thing had like what, 6 seats,
It had
and
six
it was
seats.
round like a half moon.
Yeah, it had columns on the outside. I mean, it was like
It was a fancy bathroom, let me tell
yeah.
you. And they said he would hold board meetings in there. I wouldn't have wanted to be in there, no thank you, but you know, but
Well,
it was fancy. It was real fancy. So
wherever you can meet, I guess.
I guess anyway, and the sale I'm participating in is peppermint purple sale. So I will, like I said, I will be continuing that. I was going to show you a marketplace find I found. I like to go on marketplace and look around, but this just happened to pop up, and it had been on there. It said like posted 3 days ago or whatever, but I happened to see it, and I was like, I don't. And I kept telling David, I don't know if I should get it or not, because I just don't know, you know, if we really have the money to get it. And David gets paid once a month, and it's hard, you know, to make it through the month after bills and everything. And so I was like, but I don't think I'll ever get another chance like this. And he's like, go ahead and take the money and get it. So we went an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was near Knoxville.
Near Knoxville. It's Farragut. Farrgut. Farragut?
Farragut, Tennessee.
Tennessee. And I found this, and it's a whole bolt of 22 count Charles Craft 8 o'clock. It still has the wrapper on it and everything, and I paid $30 for this.
Yeah.
So it was well worth it.
Yeah.
I was very happy about it. It's never been off the bolt. It's clean, doesn't have a smell to it. And I don't know how much is on a bolt, but I don't. And that I mostly stitch on 18 count, but I do like 22 count. And with having all this, I can dye it. I can do whatever I want with it.
Being a nice neutral color, you can make it any color you want.
Yes, and so I was excited to get that. Well, while I was up there, how I said I kind of rewarded myself was, I said, can we go to Hobby Lobby? Because I had not been to a Hobby Lobby in 6 months.
Had to be. Or more.
Since we moved to Dunlap. No, it had to be more than that, because it must have been June. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Hobby Lobbies, craft stores around us.
No, I take that back. I did go to Hobby Lobby at Christmas, in November, but it was...
Yeah, it was in El Paso.
Yeah, it was in El Paso, but it was a real quick thing. But I haven't been able to go in a Hobby Lobby and look at their fabrics or anything like that. So I said, can I go in there and look around? And so it ended up having a 30% off sale. And then their Valentine's fabric, and it might still be going on, their Valentine's fabric was 40% off. And so I got a half a yard of different ones, and then I got
about what, 12 different fabrics?
I don't know.
It was quite a bit.
It was quite a bit, but I like to make. I'm starting to make those folders for myself, and I really wanted some. But then again, I went through my drawers. Everything's packed up still, but I went through my drawers, and there was some that I had the same thing, and it was, so now I've got a little bit extra, but that's okay.
She has a chicken pattern, and that's all that matters, because I love my chickens and turkeys,
and so it's
all that matters. The rest of it I don't care about.
So while I was there was a lady that was she was just walking around the aisle. She was an older lady, and she said
her name was Sherry.
And I didn't get her phone number, nothing like that, but sweetest lady ever. And she said, what are you making with all that fabric? And I told her, I said, I cross stitch and, I'm going to be making not file folders, but folders, project folders. She says, really? You cross stitch? I cross stitch. And we must have talked for.
Oh, you guys talked for an hour and a half.
Maybe an hour.
Oh, no.
An hour and a half. And she goes, do you live here in town? I've been wanting a friend. She was from Washington State. And all her family's in Washington State. And I said, no, I don't. I said, I live in Dunlap, Tennessee. And she says, oh, where is that? And I told her. And she's like, oh. But we talked for the longest time. And
sweetest lady.
Sweetest lady ever. I could have talked with her forever. And we had so many common interests. And so Saturday was Friday.
Yes, it was Friday.
Friday was a good day for me. I got to meet somebody who had the same interest as me and didn't look bored to talk to me or anything like that. Just
Saturday, yeah. Bonnie had a issue with one of her sewing machines this week. It's an older Viking.
Well, I had 2.
That's true.
Sewing machines.
Yeah. So
but good
the
thing
older
David is handy.
the older Viking, it has a rod in it that controls the needle arm that broke. And so I actually found one that we can order the first of the month. It's not expensive. But then she got out her more trusty sewing machine.
I've had it forever.
And the pedal just would not work very well on
when
it.
I'd sew, the walking foot would go like this, and then it was like a untamed pony. It would go,
yeah,
and then it would go like this again, in a nice setting, and they go. I was upset because I had already torn out several times. I flogged it.
And I still think there's an issue with the pedal switch itself, but I mean it's an older machine. But,
it is.
So I took it down and put a new plug in it and put for her pedal, because the old plug was very loose, and I thought maybe that was causing the problem, and it helped, but it didn't fix it all the way. So
it was better. It was much better. But you forgot to look at my back stitch button.
No, I actually did look at it.
Oh, you did? Because it's still doing the same thing.
I know. I cleaned it out real well.
Mm-hmm.
And,
he did. He really. But I make sure I clean. I mean, my machines are clean.
Yeah.
But even no matter how clean you get them, the fuzz still gets down in there and stuff where you can't reach it. So he took it all apart, cleaned it, and it works wonderful.
So a little wisdom, if you can say it's wisdom for everyone, is that even if you learn something very simple, you never know when you're going to use that in life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I worked as a machinist, I worked as a tool maker, and working as a machinist, I was able to go in and look at these machines and figure out what's wrong with them and figure out how to fix them. And I never would have thought working as a machinist that's what I would do one day, but it comes in handy. So
I told him he needs to
learn whatever you can.
They do not have sewing machine mechanics
nowadays. If
anymore.
Your sewing machine goes bad, it's not under warranty. Just buy a new one.
Yep. And if he can fix them, especially there's lots of quilt shops and different things around here that don't have anybody to repair these machines.
Yeah.
And I've told him before, you're really good at it. You should take some, courses and get your sewing machine thing. He'd have work to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Give us a little bit of extra income.
There's so many things that I'd like to do.
Yeah. So I wanted to mention I think I've mentioned a lot of these people, but I thought I'd mention them again. Of Flosstubes I've been watching. Cross Stitch on the Hill. I watch her every single week. So she's really good. And then her name is Donna, I do believe. And then the Nightly Stitcher, and her name is Dina. She's really good. And then, of course, my friend Angie, Threaded Treasures. And then Katie, Jeremiah's mom. And I've been watching Stitchin' Mommy. I'm starting to catch up on her. And then Kim Hollenbeck. I like watching her. I don't do full coverage, but she does. But I like how she shows it, and she gets quite a bit done. And she said for the last 3 years, I think 2 or 3 years, she's not missed one day of stitching. That's just amazing to me. But
now the only one I watch with her is Katie, Jeremiah's mom, because they are hilarious.
They are hilarious. Well, Treasure.
I do watch hers.
Angie, you watch.
Yeah.
But the other two he really doesn't watch. But I do like him to watch Cross Stitch on a Hill because she does a lot of the ones I like. And the Nightly Stitcher, I have you watch her because they live in she lives in that big old house. Dave and I thought of buying a house that's remember she has the electric bike? I told you about her and her husband.
I know.
And they have that house in Missouri.
Yeah.
That is not a mansion, but like a big older home, like a southern home. Yeah. So, anyways, he does watch them. So for this week, I
don't remember them.
Like I said, I'm going to finish all the stuff I was going to finish, and then I'm also going to finish the. I'm going to still be working on a project folder. I'm going to be working on that today. Hopefully, I'll get it done today, and then
I'm working on the game still. I've got the first floor done, and now I'm tackling the second floor, and then I have to do clues and rewards and.
Well, this game is based on.
It's based sort of on.
Jessie Marie Dunn stuff.
Yes.
Has a.
It's called.
The.
My goodness! I posted it last week. It's kind
of like Clue and Dungeons and Dragons at the same time, but he's making me a spin-off of it.
Right.
And so he showed the floors and everything, so go back last week's and see what he's doing. But,
and you'll see the name of the game that Jessie does stuff.
Jessie Marie does stuff? Yeah.
And
maybe you can put it up again.
Yeah, I will.
But it started in January, this month. But, I'm not going to start till February 1st because I had too many things going on. But by February 1st, I won't have anything going on, so other than my regular stitching. So
maybe I can give you the clue, or maybe I can give you the little narrative and then the clue, and then on the video, so that way you can get it done.
Yeah.
Then you get to see if she gets rewarded.
That's right. It's going to be a mystery. It's called something Mansion.
It's called Asylum Adventures. Oh, hers?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's called, and she spells it differently. So,
has to do with cross-stitching, though.
Yeah.
She's doing it for her full coverage pieces, but it doesn't have to be for your full coverage pieces.
Right.
But it sounds like a lot of fun. So if you're interested, go look and see what she's doing.
Yeah, I'll put it up in the video for you.
So that's another one we watched. So, okay, well, I guess we'll let you go and have a good and safe week and a good holiday today. And whatever you want to do, we're going to have manicotti.
Oh yeah, we made that
today
last night.
for
to bake today.
It's the easiest recipe ever. If you want it, let me know in the notes below and comment. And we love looking at those comments, and we answer every one of them. So, okay.
We'll see you next time. Bye.